Welcome back to the GameSpot stage here at E3 2017. Joining myself and Peter Brown is David Dake from Bungie, here to talk about Destiny 2. How you doing?
Great, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I mean, so Destiny 2 is like the big reveal that everyone's looking forward to this quarter. No, well, next quarter, depending on when
September.
September.
Yes.
I mean, how does it feel to finally, because obviously it's been in development for a while, how does it feel to have footage out there, people finally starting to play the game?
Obviously, we love it. The energy on the show floor here is wonderful. We have people who are lining up to play in the Crucible or to go on a strike or even to play the first story mission in the game. So we are welcoming thousands of people to take their first step in the world of Destiny 2. There are so many talented people that I work with at Bungie, and their focus is on creating amazing worlds that bring players together and introducing them to heroes that will lead them on the way to protect humanity. And when we can expose that work to the people in our community or new players who have never tried a Bungie game before, and we can, sort of drink deep of their excitement and their enthusiasm, that's what makes the hard work all worth it. That's why we come into work every day, is to create experiences that will capture their imagination and blow their mind and make them feel like a badass, and then hopefully introduce them to friends that they can enjoy the game with.
I suppose, I mean, like, a specific community that this will be the first chance they can really jump into Destiny 2 is the PC crowd.
Yes.
Is it finally nice to sort of be able to get everyone on board?
We have heard so much feedback from PC gamers that they would love to see Destiny 2 on PC, either because they're playing the game already and they want to embrace it on their favorite platform, or because they're on the PC and that's the only place they play games, and they took a look at the player experience, they took a look at the cooperative activities, or the deep options for customization, or just the community that we've been able to foster around this game, and they wanted to join that community. They wanted to play that game. So the opportunity to welcome them into the Destiny community is something that I can't wait for. As a community guy, as somebody who makes that my sole focus, being able to welcome a new segment, an entire new frontier into our community is awesome. I'm sure they'll bring in their own unique perspectives. We're going to learn all about this game that we've created all over again from a different viewpoint, and we will grow and evolve that experience based on what they tell us, as we always have.
So as a sequel, I think people looked at the original Destiny and saw it expanded upon a few times, and they sort of viewed it as a platform in a sense. Destiny 2 is doing a lot of things differently, but what is the one thing that really, draws the line in the sand? Like, this is a sequel. It's not just sort of more of the same. I mean, I know there's an emphasis on lore now, like story being more of a prominent thing, but in the eyes of your team, what really sets us apart from the original Destiny?
Well, like you said, we're telling a brand new story. We are raising the stakes. The last safe city on Earth is not so safe anymore. It comes under attack very much by surprise. A brand new enemy from the Cabal Empire, the tip of the spear of their professional military, brings everything that they have to bear against the city. So the first mission of the game finds people fighting to protect a place that has always been a serene environment at the center of the game. The place where players have come together to acquire new weapons or to trade in, their engrams for new armor and to upgrade their characters. And now that shelter and supply is now in flames and is being attacked by enemies that are bigger and badder than anything they've ever faced before. We're sending them out to 4 new worlds to explore, and exploring those worlds is going to be a lot more fun. They'll be able to stay in that world, they'll be able to move from activity to activity, they'll be able to plunder it for its secrets, and very near and dear to my heart, we are investing deeply in the way players share this experience together. There will be clan support in the game. There will be new ways for players that don't have a friends list that is bristling with willing allies to reach out and to say, I would like to experience the most challenging activities that this game has to offer. I would like to play a raid. I would like to master the end game, but I don't have people to play with. And Destiny's going to do a lot better job of exposing them to the clans that will bring them along on just one activity.
Right.
And if that goes well, they can receive an invitation to join those clans right there in the game. But if you're a solo player, if being part of an established group in the game and sort of living up to their expectations for you is not the way you play, they will always be available to you as your guide to lead you through to the mountaintop, if you will, and to tackle a raid boss or to play a Nightfall Strike or to even go into the Crucible during its most challenging and exciting moments.
How can you not controls, maybe not the word, but how do you kind of prepare for, there's always going to be griefers, right?
Sure.
How can you sort of ensure that, like maybe these solo players are a bit nervous about playing with other people. How can you ensure that they're going to be playing with the people who will show them, like lead them by the hand in the right way?
Absolutely. We've thought a lot about this. Bungie has a lot of experience in building games that create community and to foster those types of social bonds and friendship. So we think a lot about how can we create a cooperative experience that still gives players control over the quality of their gameplay. So the voices that you hear in Destiny are the ones that you invite to be members of your fire team. So if you want to embark on a cooperative activity with other players, you invite them to be on your team. You can then talk to those players. But there are other social moments of the game, like public events or the people that you cross paths with on your basic exploration of these worlds. And those are people you play with. Those are people that you combine your gunfire with to overcome these obstacles, but you don't necessarily have to hear what they have to say. With the new guided games feature, they'll be able to browse a directory of clans that are inviting solo players to join them for a mission. You'll have a sense of what their clan name is, what their motto is. You'll be able to jump into a pregame lobby and exchange some words with those players to see if they're the types of people that you'd like to keep the company of for the next hour or two, or however long it takes to complete that activity. We always provide community interaction, but it's very much opt-in in Destiny. So you're never confronted by it, you're never assaulted by it, and if it's something that you don't want to have part of your experience, you can still enjoy so much of what this game has to offer. Exploring the worlds, uncovering its secrets, playing through the story missions as a lone wolf, as we say.
In the first game, sort of the story was kind of eked out through like grimoire cards that you had to sort of find, unlock, and check out online. And then you had the Taken King that kind of gave it a whole new personality and that's, I mean, because when I lapsed, and then I got the Taken King and I came back because it was that story that latched me onto the world, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that much more of a focus in Destiny 2? Do you want to have that from the get-go?
Absolutely. And that was when we first introduced players to Destiny 2, it was giving them a glimpse into the character-driven story. It was reacquainting them with the Vanguard. It was having Commander Zavala talk about what makes a Guardian a Guardian. We're telling a bigger story than players of Destiny have ever seen. It's got more story missions. It's got more cinematics. It takes you to 4 strange new worlds that have different mysteries to uncover and ways to really enjoy the story inside the game. And that was a huge creative pillar for us. That was a goal that directed every decision that we made about storytelling in Destiny, is that you should never have to drop your controller and reach for your smartphone or open your laptop to understand the story we were telling. It will come right at you in the game. It will play out in the cutscenes that add flavor to the missions. It will be things that you discover in the world, and it will be the characters that you meet along the way with different types of adventures and different types of activities that will help you understand the places where you find yourself and the moments and the realities that shape that player experience.
So a lot of investment in NPCs and those sort of things to flesh out the world?
Yes, that's the idea, is that you'll put your boots on the ground of a planet that you've never been to before, and you will find people in those destinations who have missions for you to undertake and have things for you to do. And as you do those things, you'll be earning rewards from them that make your character more powerful, but you'll also understand a little bit more about what are these places that you've journeyed to and what shaped these landscapes and what's at stake in this game.
Do these NPCs evolve over time? Like, are they persistent based on how you interact with them and maybe the things you help them do?
There'll be people that you find in the world, and there will be the ones that give you your marching orders.
Okay. Gotcha.
Now, I guess that you've kind of left the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 behind. What has that enabled you guys to do for Destiny 2?
It's enabled us to create even larger spaces for you to play in. You're going to find more people fighting by your side. You're going to find more enemies up on the screen. It allows us to provide activities and experiences that flow freely. So you'll be able to stay in those worlds, and you'll be able to experience different things while you're in those worlds. There's a lot less loading, and we've been able to create more variety of action than we've ever had in a Bungie game. And the amount of enemies that you see on the screen, the amount of players that are joining you in a public event, it just gives us a lot more firepower that we can aim at creating these explosive social moments that will blow your mind and bring you in contact with players that you've never met before.
How have enemies evolved, like across the board? Like, has there been any driving force behind making them feel fresh and introducing new ones?
Well, we've introduced new enemies on the Cabal front. There are new enemies that you've never fought in the ranks of the Cabal. They have incendiary attacks, they have melee attacks, they have these reptilian quadrupeds that are their companions, and we've just made them a little bit more ruthless, and they're going to have new ways to kick your ass, and they're going to have some surprises up their sleeve.
So what are some of the new ways then that you can fight back against these enemies?
We have 3 new subclasses. So the Hunter, the Titan, and the Warlock are all going to master new forms of combat. So whether you're a Titan who has a void shield that is both offensive and defensive in nature, whether you're a Hunter with a staff made of pure energy, you're the combat acrobat who's flipping around the battlefield and, with these devastating maneuvers and these devastating attacks, or whether you are, my personal favorite, the Warlock that takes flight over the battlefield, raining down these flaming swords on your opponents. That's the whole theme of Destiny, is that in the opening act, you lose everything that makes you a superhero. And then throughout the course of the game, you're going to master these new forms of combat and use them to fight back. The entire weapon sandbox is also changed up so that you have a lot more freedom over the types of things that you like to equip. So if you want elemental weapons, if you want kinetic weapons, you can say that I want to have a scout rifle and a hand cannon, and then there's a whole series of power weapons that you can add to your arsenal that are for those devastating one-kill attacks.
So not only do you lose all your powers, but you kind of lose. How can you bring things across from the original Destiny? I mean, people have put hundreds of hours into that game to unlock.
We do, yeah.
Legendary items and things, but
in the opening act, a player who has invested 10 hours or 1,000 hours find themselves on equal footing with all of the new people that we hope will join our community. The weapons, the gear, the armor, the abilities that make you a Guardian are all forcibly removed from you by this new enemy. And we are always providing the players of Destiny with new challenges, with new things to master, with new weapons and armor to acquire. And upgrading that character and mastering these new abilities and really discovering in these new sandboxes, in these new landscapes, through the new stories and the new enemies that they have to fight, what's the best way of going about that? We're looking at the Crucible also. The Crucible's completely changed up with different ways to fight, different objectives, different ways to enjoy these activities with your friends or with people that you meet through matchmaking. It's all 4v4, so we're always giving them new ways to think about how they play this game. We're always looking to surprise the community and to give them new things that they can challenge themselves with.
So some of the old modes from Destiny 1's Crucible have been adapted now because it's 4v4.
Yes, yeah. 4v4 definitely changes the way things work. We have the alpha at home, so I was playing Control just the other night, which is, for people who love the Crucible, it's a Destiny chestnut. It's the one thing that we use to introduce people to Destiny Crucible gameplay all the way back in the original Destiny Alpha at E3 2014. But now we're introducing modes like Countdown, which is what we're looking at right now. So this Arc Strider is dancing around a captured Cabal explosive. There's another one right there in that base, and if you can arm those charges, you can win the round. Or you can eliminate the enemy team, or time runs out, and the defending team has managed to protect their turf. But having that dual objective gameplay, giving teams the ability to decide which objective they're going to prosecute, or if they're going to sort of like fake in one direction and retreat and go and attack in another direction. It's created all sorts of new tactical engagements and scenarios and combat decisions that the players get to make. And the 4v4 loadout really puts an emphasis on every player on that team. So your strikes are a little bit more surgical. The action is still frantic, and it's still a lot of fun to play, but it's a more learnable experience. So players can learn from their defeats or their victories, and they can decide how their gameplay is going to evolve over time.
We saw, the shift in voice actors for your Ghost, in the last game. And we also saw a pretty big shift in the tone of the game with the first reveal not too long ago. There seems to be a sense of humor that's a little bit more prevalent now. Can you speak to sort of the thought behind that and like how prevalent that is in the game? Because not necessarily a bad thing, but definitely curious.
Well, you have different types of characters in the game too. Obviously, Cade 6 sort of embodies the sense of humor that you find in the tower. You can almost feel the other two vanguards. You can feel Zavala and Ikora almost rolling their eyes at this frontiersman, this rogue that shares the tower with them. Zavala is sort of the strength of the pillar. He's all business and defense. And then there's Ikora, who really embraces the mysticism of this universe and the curiosity about the wonders of the traveler. So we want to tell a story that any type of player can relate to. I think the Warlocks are really cool personally. Every hunter loves to feel like they're walking in Cade Six's footsteps. And then there's Zavala for the ultimate warrior that's all about strength and discipline. So we want to have this game be very character-driven.
Yeah.
We want to tell stories that involve characters that you care about, villains that you love to hate. But really, at the end of the day, it's about your own personal story.
Yeah.
It's about the character that you create and the relationships that you have with the other people that play this game.
How funny can I be playing this game?
You can be hilarious.
Yeah?
Or you can be deadly serious and say, game faces, let's get frosty. I want some tactical chatter. We keep getting our asses kicked. You're really funny, but the scoreboard isn't.
I'll just keep dancing over here, I guess.
You can just keep dancing. Just keep dancing.
There has to be new dance emotes coming, right?
Of course.
Yes.
We're going to have new ways for you to express yourself as a character, new ways for you to customize your character. And to your point before, nonverbal communication is a huge part of Destiny. If we can't hear everyone's voice in the game readily, it's always good when one player can sort of cast a friendly wave to another player, and that could begin some sort of social engagement that leads to a party invite or a friend request or even a clan invite.
Yeah.
Now these people are talking to each other and saying, what do we want to do today? And how are we going to help each other do that thing?
It's kind of like that nice bit in Dark Souls. If you ever summon anyone, there's always yours bow before you sort of take on a boss together.
That
which
is
like this online camaraderie that I really enjoy.
Absolutely. And in the tower, that is, I have one emote that I always equip. I don't dance, I don't, but when I observe another Guardian, I always have sort of the Warlock bow. Sort of like, that's my thank you for playing emote.
Let's talk a little bit about the PC release, because I find it very interesting that it's exclusive to Battle.net, right?
We're working with our old friends
Yes.
and our new partners at Blizzard to bring Destiny 2 to their community.
By working with, do you mean sort of speaking with people, maybe like the Overwatch team, the World of Warcraft team, the Diablo team, to make sure that everything runs smoothly, how Battle.net as a system works?
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking to everyone at Blizzard right now, even the player support team that I work with very closely to make sure that people who need to be informed or people who need assistance connecting to the game, we're talking about how we can support the Blizzard community in the manner that they're accustomed to, and that we can have that connective tissue that leads people from their website to our website where we talk to our players. We've had a very strong friendship between our studios. Our game director, Luke Smith, will tell anyone who asks that he's a Scarab Lord. And then the times that he spent in World of Warcraft were deeply inspirational to him as a gamer, and I think on a long enough timeline as a designer. We know plenty of them play Destiny. There are many an Overwatch hoodie to be discovered when you walk through the halls at Bungie. So we're really interested in strengthening this relationship. They've come up to talk to us about our game in the past, and I think we're two companies that have taken a lot of cues of inspiration from each other. So it's really exciting for us to be able to work with them to bring our game to their platform.
Could that strengthening of relationship extend to, if you, for example, like the latest Nexus challenges in Heroes of the Storm, right? You can unlock, I actually played Heroes of the Storm, so I could unlock a new Diva skin, for example. Could your partnership extend to in-game customizing? There's
certainly no telling where this relationship will bring us in the future, but I don't have any announcements to make about sort of cross-game promotions or engagements at this time.
What are the unique challenges that you're facing bringing this game to PC?
Well, we have a brand new group of people to support. We have a platform that we have never shipped a game on, at least not in the past 10 years. We've been making console games for a long time. So we have a new breed of player who's going to join our community, and we have new technology that we have to optimize for. The one thing that I'm very glad to talk about is the fact that this isn't a port. The PC version of Destiny 2 is built from the ground up to be awesome on that platform, and to look amazing, and to play fluidly, and to support the types of features that PC gamers expect when they play a social cooperative game like this.
I mean, given the uncapped, ability to just have the game run as fast as your hardware will allow, and the mouse and keyboard support, would you say the PC version is probably the best version of Destiny 2 that you can play?
I think the best version of Destiny 2 is where you find your friends and where you're comfortable. If you are a console gamer who wants to go and play on the PC, and you just don't have that dexterity to be able to use a keyboard and a mouse, you can still pick up a controller.
Right.
I'll admit to you freely, that's probably how I'm going to do it. My hands have been my hands have been enjoying those pistol grips for a long time, but I'm going to be on the PC. I'm on every platform where people play this game, so I'm going to go in there and I'm going to mix it up with the people in my clan who are already building PCs to tackle Destiny 2, and we like to give people different options. And you should make an informed decision as to where you want to play Destiny based on what sort of experience you want to have or which people will be waiting for you when you get there.
Are Destiny 2 players on PC are they going to be on a back foot at all because maybe they missed the first game?
I certainly hope not. No, we wanted to create a game that was a great entry point for new people who have looked at this world and could see themselves being there and thriving there and fighting there. This is an opportunity for anybody to join us in the tower during its darkest moment and to take up arms with their fellow guardians and fight to protect humanity. There isn't anything that we're going to be doing in Destiny 2 that would confuse you if you haven't played Destiny. If you have been a guardian with us over the course of the past 3 years, we're certainly going to do things to immortalize your achievements, sort of illustrate that legacy. So both of you, upon inspection, will be people who will stand out as, the veterans of this community, the leaders of the new blood. But if you've always looked at Destiny and you felt like this game's a mile down the road and these guys are so far ahead of me that they'll never take the time to explain anything to me, everybody finds themselves on equal footing in the opening act of this game. And we would love to have you join this community. I can tell you that the people that have played this game have been a very welcoming bunch. A seasoned guardian who has conquered everything the game has to offer loves nothing more than when they see a character with a low light score. And they can reach out to that person and say, can I be there the first time you beat a raid boss?
Sounds a tad optimistic, but I like it. So September 8th is coming up.
September 6th.
September 6th.
Yep. We moved up.
That's right, you moved it up.
We moved up our launch date 2 days. So on September 6th, you're going to find Destiny launching on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and then on the PC on October 24th.
Right.
What's the reason for the delay in the PC launch?
Well, as you were talking about the challenges, we want to make sure that we're building a product that we feel is worthy of the PC gaming community. We want to make sure that it's a product that we are excited to ship. We want to make sure that it's the best game that the PC community can enjoy, and it's our first time serving them in quite a long time. So we're committed to getting that right.
Do you have a good idea already about the minimum specs you're going to need to play Destiny 2?
I certainly don't, and it's a conversation that we will let more informed parties lead at a later date.
Sure.
So I'm already sort of identifying some of the different people at Bungie that can help me lead that conversation with the PC gaming community. We'll introduce those people to their would-be players and let them start talking about, here's exactly what you'll need to build in order to join us on this adventure.
So ahead of September 6th, when can people get their hands on it? There must be some betas coming up.
Yes, we have an open beta this summer that starts on July 21st. If you want to be among the first to play, you can jump in for some early access if you pre-order. DestinyTheGame.com has all the details for you. So if you want to go and pre-order this game on the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, there are some early start dates for both of those consoles.
Wonderful. Well, David, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome. And for more on this year's E3 coming up next, we've got Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. Very exciting. Make sure you don't go anywhere.